welcome to Who Pops Your Popcorn,
where you learn to market to the right people at the right time, the new way.
I'm Shahar.
And I'm Nash.
And today we are going to answer two questions we got.
Two questions?
Yes, they are both related to our last show, Information Marketing. One came from Susie Lassie, and the other one from Paul Berberian. So you both know you're going to get 3 issues of our Engage magazine. Well, Sue asked if you can use information marketing for a charitable organization. And Paul asked what he could do better in information marketing to sell pictures.
Okay.
Well, and if that was possible in information marketing. And yes, you can use both very well in information marketing. What you have to be is creative. For example, non-profit organizations, they already use information marketing. You know, when you give a monthly fee to support a child, and every month you get a letter from the child, you get a picture, that is a kind of continuity program. Now, what you have to think is what else you could do to generate funds and be in the information marketing. So now, think with me, one thing they're very good is about stories, right? They are all about the stories and their cause.
Yes.
So, as Seth Godin would say, you need to create a tribe around that cause.
Yes.
What could you do to do that? Well, if you're targeting, for example, children, you can have books, you can generate tips, you could have newsletters. One thing that I thought could be fun is if you're, for example, working with crafts, like you in a third world country and you teach women how to make crafts so they can generate income. This is something that happens a lot, very common. Why not do a line of crafts that you would number them and you would sign them by the women that make that so they become collectibles? The perception of value is higher, and of course you then sell that to members 1 piece a month. So the member will pay a certain fee to get that specific collectible, higher perception of value, and only them, those members that belong and donate some money every month, would receive those pieces. That can be done with anything, with jewelry, for example. The same thing, you have a specific collection that is numbered and is signed, and you will sell your members over the months with that. So that's one idea.
Yes, excellent. I love that, Shahar. Do it exclusive, do the collectibles, and tell the story. Perhaps you tell the story of the women who are helping you create that particular piece or whatever it is. Let people know who's behind this and what it stands for.
Yeah, and really, if you use your imagination, you could create several programs that would benefit a non-profit organization.
Definitely.
Now, with art and with pictures...
Yes, what can we do, Shahar?
Well, we also can do a lot of things, but I was actually talking to Paul over the email, and I suggested him to target corporations.
Okay.
You know, corporations, they have a lot of clients, and they need to give gifts. And not only during Christmas, they do need sometimes to open a big account or something. And it's hard, because what do you give besides gift baskets? So, for example, you can create a collection, again, that is signed and numbered, a limited edition, so you increase the perception of value, and you sell to that company so they can give to their customers. Of course, you need to come up with nice packaging, the nice way to tell the story.
Right.
For a certain amount that they buy from your pictures a month, you can then have a bigger size picture given, so you can create different packets that they sign up for related to the number of pictures. Am I clear, or am I confused? Sometimes I get...
Sometimes she is confused. But no, I believe you're clear, Shahar. It's, I'm a photographer. I'm going to sell my art to corporations who need to give gifts. So let's say I come up with a subscription plan where they pay me so much a month and they get so many prints a month where they can give out to their clients and things like that.
Exactly. So I hope that answered your questions, and remember, you're going to get the magazines in the mail. And
today, the tool we decided to choose, well, you know, Shahar, I always talk about mind mapping, and we always talk about brainstorming, sitting down and actually crafting a plan for what you're going to do. Mind maps are great, however, there's no structure. So that's when you're being creative, your creative juices are flowing, and you're writing things down. But then when time comes for you to actually implement that, mind maps might not be as good. So that's why today my tool is for a flowchart. A flowchart is essentially when you it's almost like a mind map, but it has a sequence.
Yeah, it's linear.
Yes,
And
it's
it's
linear.
perfect when you're creating systems. Systems, for example, they wouldn't work well on a mind map because they need to be linear, one step after the other. So that's when you go to the flow chart. You
Go to
see
the
one
flow chart.
thing, sometimes you translate what I say, sometimes I translate what you say.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're so good together. So anyway, go to lucidcharts.com to download, to sign up for free accounts. And that's a place where you can create a flow chart, several flow charts, and you start planning, start creating that strategy.
Yes, and what's also good about Lucid Chart is that you can access that online from any computer.
That's right.
You can share with members, so
Share
when
with
you're
members.
in your business and you need to share with your partners or employees, that's a great tool. And
Exactly.
we like to use that
We
too.
love it.
Yeah, when we create products, for example, that also need to be very linear, what we are going to do,
Mhm.
we also use flowcharts.
That's right, because you do it to create a strategy, but you can do it for almost anything. So, for instance, like you said, when we're creating a product, if we need to determine what will be included in that product, or afterwards the follow-up sequence, that we'll do that in the flow
In the
chart.
flowchart.
Because then we know, okay, first they're going to do this, then they're going to do that. If they take it, they get this. If they don't take it, they get that. And so you create the entire strategy like
Sales
that.
process also
The
is
sales
good for
process.
flowchart because they also need to be linear.
Exactly.
So, and you need to have a sales process with several steps,
Well-
but that's a subject for another day.
It definitely is,
Yeah.
but it's important to have things, to have them down. I know you have them in your brain, and you go about and you do it, but when you have it systematized, actually on paper, then it allows your company to grow. When you have new employees come in or anything like that, it's all there and it's duplicatable.
Yeah, so your task for this week is to think about creative ways to incorporate information marketing to your business and test Lucid Chart to use the flow chart they offer.
That's right.
Okay, see you next week.
Send us your questions. See you next week.